do you feel when you can be yourself? Hi, I'm Fallene Wells, your catalyst to grow. In this video, you'll learn how to come back to yourself and discover what you value. This is a 3-part video series. Part 1, you'll discover your values. 2, you'll try them on. And 3, you'll be learning how to live them every day. For these exercises, you'll need a journal and something to write with. And I recommend saving this video if now is not a great time to connect with yourself. When I think of being yourself, I think about being a kid again. And when I was 8 years old, I loved Madonna. I would dress up and dance around the house singing "Like a Virgin" before I knew what it meant. That's the cool thing about kids. The world hasn't shaped them yet of who they're supposed to be. They only know how to be themselves. When we start taking on different roles, we can lose sight of ourselves. If I was to ask you right now, who are you? What would you say? If you were to ask me before I sold my salon, I would have told you I'm a salon owner. That was my identity. But when we define ourselves by what we do, when we stop doing that role, we might feel like we've lost ourselves. The hard truth is, you might have lost yourself the moment you became that role. So let's get back to remembering who you are with this first exercise. Grab your journal. At the top, write "I am." At the bottom, write anything that comes to mind to describe who you are. Pause this video and take a few minutes to fill that out. Now that you've finished, review your list and put a line through anything that's a job position, a role, your relationship status, and even your achievements. What are you left with? I would love to hear what you discovered, if you wouldn't mind sharing them in the comments below. When we think about values, we might think about corporations or something that's found in business. And we might feel like we have to choose the words that sound nice on paper, but they don't really represent our unique and authentic selves. Values to me are the living principles. They are the foundation that guide our decisions, and those decisions create the behaviors that can change the outcome of our lives. When we don't have clearly defined values that we want to live by, some will be created for us without us even realizing it. There was this great quote on this app I use called Headspace for meditation, and it said something like, "Sometimes when we don't know ourselves fully, we can rely on the opinions of others that don't really know themselves." Defining our values isn't something that you can easily check off, but rather it's something that's always evolving as we evolve. When we don't honor our values, those compromises of self-betrayal can create cracks in our foundation. But if we've never defined our values, we may be unaware that we're betraying ourselves. And that self-betrayal can wreak havoc on our physical and emotional well-being. It can show up like feeling stuck, shame, guilt, not trusting in yourself. It can even cause anxiety because our foundation no longer feels safe to us. After being asked that question of who are you, I grounded myself and sat with that emotion. And in doing so, I realized that I hadn't been honoring my value of courage. By not honoring that value, I became really resentful and I lost confidence in myself. Honestly, I was just being a total dick to myself. The cool thing is, when you do have clearly defined values, you can inspect your foundation for cracks and move forward with a solution. So let's get digging so that you can start to clearly define what you value. Grab your journal and create 3 columns. In the first column, write need to have. The middle column, nice to have. And the third, final column, write not so much. I'm going to show a values list. Each slide will be about 30 seconds. I don't want it to be too long to create too much time for overthinking. Really allow your heart to guide your decisions. Now review your list. In your need to have and nice to have list, ask yourself the following questions. Where does this value show up for me in my life right now? And how does it feel when I don't honor this value? Every day this week, try to define what that value means to you. And try to narrow your need to have list down to 5. In the notes below, I created a workbook that you can download for free if you're looking to dig deeper in this exercise. And if you need a little personalized guidance, feel free to comment, help me dig, and I would love to. Being the best version of yourself is always worth the investment. I am so proud of you today for taking the time and having the courage to connect with yourself and to want to grow. I look forward to seeing you back here for part 2 when you learn how to try on your values.